Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of A Good Life Podcast. It's your girl, just call me Steff here, and I just came to tap in. We're doing something a little bit different today. I know normally y'all used to seeing us in the studio and things like that, having a panel, but today we're just doing something different. It's the new year, and I'm like, hey, let's just do something different. We don't always have to keep doing the same thing because a lot of times when you want different results, you got to change it up. You got to switch it up a bit. So I'm just coming to you from the comfort of my own home. And as you can see, I have flowers and things around. I'll let y'all see my plants in another video. But yes, it's the plant mama here. And I just want to say Happy New Year, everybody. Um, I know a lot of controversy has been swirling around January actually not being the new year and the actual new year, and I kind of believe that. But nonetheless, the Western civilization they want us to believe that January is a happy new year, so happy frozen cold new year. But I believe that the new year actually is in the spring because if you think about it, springtime is the rebirth, the renewal. Everything's growing again. The grass and the flowers and trees are getting the leaves and things like that. So why wouldn't a new year be rebirthed in the spring? But again, so many things have been watered down and distorted throughout history that we are so far from nature, history, and things like that. But that's a whole nother episode that we're gonna tap in. But for this 2025 all the way live, we just gonna be covering a lot of topics. I got a lot to talk about. I've been quiet for a long time and observing a lot of things that have been going on in this previous year. There's a lot that needs to be covered and a lot of things that needs to be reworked. We gotta do better, y'all. I come from, let me just give you a little bit background from myself. Started this podcast last year back around our first episode aired in June. And since then it's just been a kind of a slow progression. I did come off of a different podcast. I'm sure you all know Fresh Convo. I used to be on there and things like that, but we decided to go our separate ways. So this podcast that I started basically is about wellness and addressing the issues that go on in our community to help with mental health. I am currently working in behavioral health, and the things that I have seen and the things that have occurred in my career are just like disturbing and mind boggling because people don't even know about some of the simplest things that can add value to your life. Just the thing of people always say self-care, practice self-care, but we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't know how to do that. And a lot of us are just running on E, and it's a lot of mentally ill, unstable people out here that's very depressed. And we all know that when you're depressed, then hurt people hurt people. So then there you go. We got this vicious line, this vicious cycle of everybody just out here just trying to survive, but they don't know what to do. They don't have any coping skills and things like that. And it's like, they're just going out here just you're cut and bleeding, so you're going on to the next person cut and bleeding them, and then they're going on to the next person, and it's just this vicious cycle. So I figured maybe a regular girl from the D, you know what I'm saying, I went to college and got my bachelor's degree from Ferris State University in criminal justice. I am doing social work now, but it's a human services degree. I do plan to go back to get my MSW. I had a slight delay in life, but my history: I'm a mother, grew up on Joy Road. I have one son. He's 24 now. He's part of the LGBT community. I'm a very strong supporter. I love my son very much. I am a caregiver, a daughter. I take care of my mother who has early stages dementia, and it's very challenging. So I'm like, all of these things that I've been facing, all of these issues that I'm living with, and then meeting people that are dealing with similar issues or having even more things, that all the stuff in life that's been happening lately, can't make this stuff up. So I'm like, let's put this into a podcast and let's get to talking about things. I mean, the big thing now is podcasts, and that's almost like the easiest thing to do is to set a camera up and sit in front of it and talk. Because believe it or not, we all have a story. We came from somewhere, and we can use our stories and our experiences to help others. And that's the whole goal, is to help somebody else, pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? I've been through this. I experienced these type of issues and things like that. I can talk to somebody else and maybe help them so they won't have to go through the same things I did or make the same mistakes I did. And a lot of issues and mistakes that are happening is because people do not communicate. Everybody is struggling with their own worries and things like that, and some people don't even have anyone to talk to. And it's just like, if you can't express yourself and get those things out, then you're gonna explode. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna explode on the person that's closest to you, and then that's not a good thing. So we need to be able to have outlets and ways, and I just feel like this podcast is the way to do this. I have done several interviews with a lot of musicians and things like that. I plan to expand my interviewing to anybody. I don't care if you're a person living off the street. If you need to talk, come on my podcast and we'll chop it up. We may have a panel of people. It may just be you and I. Who knows? But if you want to talk, if you got a life story, that's what this is all about. I'm not just stuck to one audience. I want to be nationwide. I want to talk to everybody because everybody has a story and have been through things that can help the next person. So that's where a Good Life podcast come from. A Good Life, the title, I dreamed it up, and I'm like, it's a good life. We've all been through our trials and tribulations and things like that, but at the end of the day, life is still good. It's people that don't have the freedom to wake up and go to the bathroom and check their phones and eat a nice hot meal. It's a lot of people don't have those luxuries of knowing their next meal gonna come from, or how they gonna get to and from work or anything like that. So if you're able to take care of yourself and the ones around you and things, you're in a better position than you thought. We always get caught up into this, what the next person has and what social media and things like that. And I'm here to tell you right now, all that glitter ain't gold. And if you over 30, really 25, you should know that. Everything you see is not what it is. Just my thing of looking at it is like everything is filtered. So we have to look at it in that sense of what we see is what they want you to see. Even with myself, you're only going to see what I post. You're only going to see what I want you to see. You're not going to see the whole thing. You're not going to see the true facts. You're not going to see everything. You're going to see what I want you to see because we all come with masks on. So at the end of the day, if you basing your life off of something you see on social media and things like that, that's not the way to go. I'm telling you that right now. So I wanted to go into a hot topic that I've been hearing trending on social media about the young lady who went to a New Year's Eve party and ended up getting jumped and then turned around. I know you guys know the story. She gets jumped because she was recording herself and she leaned her phone against the someone's urn that had ashes in it. And then in return she got jumped, and then she came back and retaliated with people, and all of these people recording this on live. So I'm like, there was a lot of big problems and red flags with that, and I'm not going to be judgy and things like that, but first of all, we have to start using sense. We are in Detroit. Detroit is dangerous. It has been the murder capital before. We are a tough group of people in the D. You can look wrong and it can be a brawl. So let's just get that straight. Detroit is everybody has this whole demeanor, toughness. So for one, you got to be safe. You got to be careful. For two, it's a lot of demons out here floating around. So you can't just be intertwined with any and everybody. You have to use discernment and look and know who you messing with and who you dealing with. And then don't just meet people off the street and then go to a house party. You are at the mercy of their hands. Whatever situation. As you can see, you didn't even know that this person was ashes while you leaning your phone. That's what everything's surrounded by these phones nowadays. So it's always going to be an issue being surrounded and caused by phones. But you going to these strange places that you don't know these people, and you partying, and you're gonna drink and get inebriated and things like that. So you want to be around a bunch of strangers. So for me, that would have been a no already. I don't need to party that bad where I'm gonna meet some strangers and go party. But then again, you sometimes meet people and you have that good energy. So it's kind of like you just got to use the discernment. Pray and ask God for discernment. Know who you're dealing with. Go off your energy and things like that. So for people to be beating people up and putting it on live, why everything got to go on live? You catching yourself up. I come from the era where we didn't do that. First of all, we didn't have the social media and things like that. But the people in my hood where I grew up from, shouts out to everybody, Joy Road, P-Rock, but we didn't want our business out there on the street. Dope dealers didn't want you to know they was rich, they had this and that and the other. People was running around in shooter cars and things like that. They didn't want you to know nothing about their business. Nowadays, it's just broadcasted and plastered. It's like it's set up for everybody to tell where they're going to be at, the location, when they this and another. And I'm guilty of it too. Everything I'm saying here, just to let y'all know that everything I'm saying, it counts for me too. I'm not being judgy or anything like that because I've done some weird, crazy things myself. We all do. It's only human. I'll be the first to admit it. I've done some stupid shit. and I'm still doing it in my 40s. So we all do things, but at some point you have to kind of like wake up and grow up. You know, not unless you want to keep living a complicated life and bump your head and things like that. But let's stop putting all our business out there. For one, let's just stop, okay? Um, it's a lot of it was during back to school time. We got the controversy swirling around, posting the pics of your children and posting the school that they go to, and that's open for the pedophiles to come with the human trafficking and things like that. So we just have to be safe, y'all. Be mindful when you're going on vacation, you know, posting your pics after you come back so people don't know your home is empty, and just little small little tactics and things like that. Would just exercise some patience, and then think about who are you trying to improve. I mean, I'm sorry, not improve, impress. Really, who are you trying to impress? I seen a meme one time when they talked about the people you trying to impress is looking at you from a toilet seat. Yeah, that mean a lot of times we sitting on our behind, me included, scrolling on from the toilet, and you sitting here trying to do these extra things to impress somebody who is taking a poop. So just keep that in mind when you know, stressing out. I gotta post these pics. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Yeah, I got millions and millions of photos. Well, I ain't gonna say millions, thousands of photos in my phone that have never been posted on social media and never will be. And there are nice pics, and I've had a good time. I've traveled and did things. I post some things I just don't post. You know, I've been posting a little bit more because you know, you do content and things like that, especially when you're trying to push a brand and put your name out there and things like that. You're gonna post a little bit more, but just be mindful of the things that you are posting. So I got a new logo. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the Instagram page, A Good Life Podcast, but the link is in my bio and the logo is on there. And it's just a basic peace sign. And it's just the wavy colors, like groovy to me, because I'm more of a like bohemian style type of person. I love like earth and trees and colors and peace and wellness and things like that. So I know back in my uh, earlier days, other life or whatever, I probably was a tree hugging hippie. So I can't even say it right. But yes, I love earth. I love like grounding, putting my feet in the ground, things like that. Planting, gardening. Those of you that know me know I'm an avid plant lover. I love getting my hands dirty. That's why I wear short nails too, because I like to get my fingers into the dirt, especially when I can plant. When I had a garden in the yard and I could just get my hands into the earth and just dig, that was my piece. You know, everybody has the things, you know, that they do um, to mental, you know, self care and things like that. Gardening and planting, that's one. Music is the other, but definitely plants and things like that. And I recently repotted all my plants. I know you technically supposed to repot in the spring, but it was time. It was long overdue. I have been neglecting some of my plants because I've been busy. You know, this podcast life keep you on the go because you constantly networking with people. You constantly have to be out. You constantly got to get interviews and things like that. And you constantly want to be known. You want to be out. So it takes me away from um, my things that I should be doing sometimes and my attention. And it's like you have to be able to figure out how to balance that. That's what I'm working on now. Is like how to balance my home and my peace and my mental health because I do have a lot going on. Like I said, caring for an elderly parent or anybody with dementia is not easy. And shouts out to my older sister at ATL who's taking care of her grandfather, and she's doing it. Me and her are each other's support system because a lot of people might not understand. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's very hard, and I'm just blessed that my mother is in her early stages, so she's not as bad as some other people and things that I have. Witnessed before. I worked in healthcare, worked with geriatrics back in the day and things like that. And we had our dementia unit and we had to have alarms on and things because these people wanted to escape and get out. So thank God, you know, that my mom is not the type that's going to wander away. You know, at least now she's early stages. So I try to count my blessings wherever I can get them. Um, we always gonna have issues. It's always gonna be something. And I learned that in the first 4 days of this year. Today is January 4th. Yeah, it's always gonna be something. I done had a rack of bad shit happen to me within these 4 days. I mean, from like tragic things that I've had to bounce back, and I had to bounce back fast because I can only depend on me. You know, I have people depending on me, And then I don't have anybody I can depend on, so to speak, financially and things like that. I'm single now, divorced, freshly out of a relationship, things like that. I tried to dabble in the dating pool, but that's a whole another episode. We can do a whole series on that right now, because when they say it's piss in the dating pool, baby, they was not playing. It's a lot of unhealed, mentally ill men and women out here trying to date, and y'all need to get yourself together before y'all get out here. I'm gonna just tell y'all now, I was watching a series on Netflix with the worst ex ever, and you saw some of them women on there getting themselves caught up in all type of financial issues. One lady did 7 months in jail, fighting 2 felonies and things like that, and she had a lucrative business and was educated and all type of things. So when I tell y'all, we have to be careful. Men and women, because there's some crazy women and there's some crazy men out here, but y'all better use discernment. And I see a lot of people are choosing to be single nowadays, and I see why. I remember back when I got married, before I got married, that was one of the reasons I got married, because the dating pool back then, I got married in 2017, and I was like, okay, let's make this work. Let's do this. So I kind of rushed into my marriage. We got engaged after 6 months, and we're married a year later. And yes, it didn't work out. 7 years later, it didn't work out, and that's because we probably rushed and didn't really get to know each other. So I look at it as another lesson learned. I don't take the devastations and the tragedies that happen to me in my life. I have learned to turn them into testimonies. The trials are turned into the testimonies in my stories, and it's a war room, and it hurts, but you got to take those things and you got to use it as ammo to fight back, to say, hey, I'm gonna better myself next time. I'm not gonna do the same things I did before to lead me into the same situations, because we all know when we hurt, we continue to do things when we're not conscious and aware of ourselves. So that's the main goal. I use these situations as lessons to bring awareness. Not to say that I don't go through things and it's not hard, but I have to retrain my thinking and reframe my mind, because if not, I'll go crazy. All the stuff that's constantly happening, and it don't stop. Y'all heard the term, the shit don't stop. This shit don't stop. Life is full of bad shit. And that's an inside joke with one of my clients. If he watched this, he gonna be cracking up. I got you. It's bad shit. It really is. Life is bad shit, but it's not gonna stop. And it happens to all of us. I work with so many people. I've been in the human services field for a long time, starting out in juvenile detention, then going to work in nursing homes and things when I was in college, CNA, working with elderlies and things like that. It's a need for mental health in every field, every area. You know, you had the juveniles that was dealing with things, talking to them. Some of them were coming up from broken homes and backgrounds, because their parents didn't know no better. They didn't know how to parent and allow them to be out here doing things that they shouldn't do, and they weren't properly supervised, and all type of things is happening. Then working in the foster care system, and just seeing how children were split from their parents, and how, you know, some of the poor parenting decisions that led to this. And then it was some great things to see how parents did make those poor decisions, but then they got themselves together. Once they got into the system actually helped them to realize, hey, I need stable housing and income. I need to have a well mental health stability and things like that. I need to work on these things in order to be a better parent to this child. So I have been thanked for, you know, working with these people, because I brought some enlightenment to their life, some awareness, like, hey, you cannot do drugs, you cannot starve your child, you cannot leave your child improperly supervised and things like that. You can't do these things. So here's some things in place to work on those. So all the world needs is just some love and some attention and some resources. That's another thing. That is a big thing. Resources to do the type of work that I do. Resources is very important, and it's a lack thereof, especially in our inner city, Detroit. The homelessness rate, the lack of housing, the mental health system is continuously failing. It's a lot of stigma and issues involved around why the economy and the things are the way they are. There's a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding that. But working in a environment where we have different markets through different states and things like that, like all across the United States, um, Detroit is like one of the toughest markets to work in. The seasonal depression has really been a lot. It's been a lot, very heavy. So I really didn't know what I was getting myself into when I got into this job, but I'm working through it. A lot of ways it has helped me through my life struggles. Like I said, dealing with a divorce, moving, taking care of a parent, like all these things got dumped on me. Everything just happened at one time, and it was like back to back to back to back to back. So it was like, me working with individuals who had way less than me and were still finding ways to be positive. And also I do caregiving for individuals that have had car accidents, traumatic brain injuries, paraplegic, things like that. And working with these clients and seeing them smile and be silly and happy, and we laugh and have a good time and go out and just enjoy life. And it's like, wow, okay, uh take the woe is me off, because your life is not that bad. None of it, it's not that bad. Whatever situation we in, we can get ourselves out of it. It's just all about, are you willing to put in that work to do it? Because we all been down, and the whole point is, when you gonna get up. I think Emil Lorix made that song. I know you're down, but when you gonna get back up? When you gonna get up? We all fall down, and once, that's the good thing about hitting rock bottom. Once you fall to your lowest, it's nowhere else to go but up. But that's a choice that you have to make, and you just have to put one foot in front of the other. All it takes is just the minutest of the smallest of changes, and that faith in God. That's it. I don't know how many of you believe in God, but I know God is real. I don't really too much get caught up in the religion things that are happening and things like that. I am a deaconess, ordained deaconess in my old church, but seeing the different rituals and things like that happen in the Baptist church, and then attending different other churches, Christ Latter-day Saints, and things like that. It's just seeing different religions and things like that, and the different rituals and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't want to get caught up in that. I just want to believe in God, and I want to take care of people and do the right thing. I'm gonna pray, study my word and things like that, but I just want to do the right thing. Which, talking about God, leads me to a scripture I wanted to start doing when I do these podcasts like this. I want to do a scripture day, because I used to do like weekly scriptures and things at my old church, and so I don't have a church home now, but I am going to be starting to look for one. But I want to get back into scripture, and it's like different scriptures be jumping out at me at different times and things like that. And one that really stuck out to me was and I've seen this a couple of times. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the rapper Esham for back in the day. He posted this scripture, and a lot of people was jumping on there saying, we getting Bible study from Esham. I'm not sure who remembers Esham, but I was a big fan, and he talked about some really dark things in his music. Yes, back in the day, we was back in the 90s and things like that. But that just goes to show you, God is real, and anybody can come back. Like, we can't go off of the things that we've done in the past. Those were just like learning life lessons and things like that. That's why I say, don't beat yourself up. Have grace. Give yourself grace, because we are not the same people we were back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shouts out to Esham, one of my favorite rappers from back in the day. Came up with this scripture, 2 Timothy verses 1-9. And it talks about, but mark this, there will be terrible things in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of good, treacherous, rash, lovers lovers of pleasure rather than God. That's a big one. Having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women, who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires. Always learning, but never able to come to a knowledge of truth. Just as Janus and Jambres opposed Moses, so also these teachers oppose the truth. They are men of deprived minds, who, as far as faith is concerned, are rejected. But they will not get very far, because as in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. So when I read that scripture, again, that's 2 Timothy verses 1-9, chapter 3. I'm sorry, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1-9. So when I read that brought me to the mind of narcissism a little bit. And I want to really have, we got a 5-part series coming on narcissism as well. So stay tuned. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to do. I'm thinking about bringing it in the springtime, but we definitely have a series coming up on narcissistic abuse. That is a personality trait that has been on the rise. And it's been a thing for years and years, and people have not paid it attention. But it's a lot of research and things that are going on and are happening right now. And I'm sure y'all heard of it. We got cocky, manipulative, selfish, patronizing, demanding demons walking around us. and it's wrapped all up into one beautiful neat package called narcissism. And that is a real thing. People need to really start looking at the people who you're around and start just like, wait a minute. And a lot of times when you always finding yourself into a lot of controversy and a lot of mess and a lot of things and a lot of issues, and you always falling out with people and things, take a long deep look at yourself. You may be a narcissist, but I encourage everybody to start doing their research on narcissism, because I was a victim of narcissism, and I for a long time I have participated in and didn't even know what I was doing. But when I started becoming aware, then I started educating myself, and I have some books and things on that. I've been watching some podcasts, I've been listening to some of these doctors talk, and that is a real thing. And I was able to match up like the person I was with and match up some of the traits and things, and it was like scary, and it was like, whoa, what is happening? So, ladies and gentlemen, when you find yourself in these relationships, make sure you know who you get to know. I'm sorry, who you make sure you get to know who you with, who you dating. Please stop taking these people home. Please stop meeting these people on these dating sites. A lot of prowling is going on in these dating sites. The social media, people hopping in DMs, is all type of sick, mentally ill people that are disguised, and it's demons walking around us, and you don't even know. And in that scripture, when they talked about gullible women loaded down with sin, yes, you are an easy target. I'm gonna say you will be an easy target when you load it down. When you let your bear the weight of your sins and things that you have done, then that makes you a lower vibrational. And when you are vibrating on that lower totem pole, you are susceptible to getting caught up in all type of things. And the biggest thing a narcissist looks for is a person who is vibrating in that low totem pole. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to both of y'all. Make sure, but all of us, make sure you are doing the work that you need to do, and getting out of that lower vibrational level. Because if not, these demons is fishing around and they looking for any and everything to latch on and leech on. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of men coming out here that's on the DL and don't want to admit it. That's why, when I know people that are out and they're I applaud that, because it's a lot of people that are still hiding it. But and that's fine if you don't want to come out, you want to hide, that's fine. But don't bring other people into your mess. Do what you want to do, but don't bring innocent people into your mess. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yes, we have to definitely work on that. And again, going back to scripture, when it said there will be terrible times in the last days, if you look at it, everybody thought when 2025 kicked in, life was going to be just so much greater and things like that. And I'm like, 2025 all the way live. Yeah. But guess what? You went to sleep on December 31st and woke up on January 1st, and it was just another day. You don't wake up and just be different because they say it's another year and things like that. I believe the calendars are off anyways and time is off anyway. So, you have to yield those things into existence. So you're not finna just wake up and just be totally whatever it is. If your goal is to eat healthier and lose weight, you're not gonna wake up from December 1st to the 31st to the first and be skinny. You got to put that work in, and you got to stay dedicated. So when it says people will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, obedient to their parents. First of all, it's a lot of that. And this can be misconstrued when they say, because we are supposed to love ourselves, yes, but it's a point to where you have to love yourself and care for yourself, but you also have to be humble and love others and take care of others and consider. You can't just be a selfish person and want and never give. That's what they're talking about when they say lovers of yourself. Not that, a lot of people will say, especially narcissists will be, well, oh, you just mad because I love myself, or I ain't supposed to love myself. Oh, no one ever said that, because that's definitely the goal, is to love yourself. Before you love anybody else, you're supposed to love yourself. But when it's a lover of yourself to a point where you're a selfish person and not selfless, then that's where the problem comes in. Lovers of money. We already know the problem with that. That's getting out of hand, because people will do anything strange for a piece of change. Boastful, always bragging and things like that. You see on social media, if somebody feed the homeless, they got to record it or things like that. Oh, I did this, I did that. What about doing things and people don't know about it? Proud, abusive. It's a lot of domestic violence going around, men and women. Women are getting locked up more and more for domestic violence and things. But yeah, that's another thing I've been seeing. Ungrateful. unholy. Ungrateful is another thing. You can do everything in the world for somebody and they still won't be happy. It'll never be enough. And I learned that too. You can give, give, give. You can give so you dry as a bone, and they still gonna be trying to suck the life out of you. And if they can't, they're gonna go somewhere else and try to get it. So make sure you being careful with who you giving and what you giving to. Again, a holy. A lot of people want to use I don't believe in this and that and the other because church is all a gimmick and I got to put my money in this and that and the other. You can still have God. You can still be holy without getting caught up in the propaganda with the church, things like that. Um, Without love. There's a lot of people around here talking about their emotionalism. They don't care and they don't love nobody. Why? That ain't what God put us here. God loved us. We do. What would happen if we didn't have God's love? Where would we be at without God loving us, despite all of our flaws? But people don't really love people no more. People not genuinely. They say that word love all the time. It ain't love. It's love, because that's what it is. Some fake love. Unforgiving. We have people holding on to grudges for years and years and years and never forgiving. Slanderous. Uh, I've heard a lot of gossip and things, and people things don't work out, so now they want to go around and say, yeah, that's why this and another. You got people telling lifelong secrets that somebody else told just because y'all fell out. You know what I'm saying? I've never been the type. My sign as a Scorpio will not even allow me to do that. If you tell me your deepest darkest secret, guess what? It's going to the grave. I hold so many people's secrets I'll never reveal. So I don't know what that's about with that slanderous thing. Without self-control, that's another one. It's a lot of alcoholic, drug addiction, sex addiction going on. No self-control. What happened to abstaining from certain things? Me myself now, I'm working on practicing celibacy. That's a form of self-control that I never had in my life. So I decided to try this because I felt like my sexual urges and nature was getting me into certain problems and certain situations where I didn't know how I was getting myself into it. And it was because you cannot lay down with everybody. You have to be careful who you lay down with and swapping souls with, because that stuff is real, especially when you going in unprotected. So even when you protected, you still touching and bonding and your spirits intertwining and things like that. So I have had to abstain from that type of activity because I want to also put myself in check. Certain things I stopped doing just to make sure I can, just to make sure I'm in control, because I don't want anything or any of my habits. I don't want those controlling me. I want to be in control. So I'm going to make sure that I stop doing certain things to make sure that I am in control. Brutal, not lovers of the good. We got people out here just being just so mean and like, sometimes everything don't need to be said. It may be the brutal, honest truth, but sometimes you don't have to hurt people's feelings and say certain things. Not lovers of the good. That's self-explanatory. They don't like anything good. Treacherous, rash, conceited. Again, conceited. Lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Having a form of godliness but denying His power. That's a big one. There's a lot of demons that were once like pure people that had that form of godliness in them. We all walk with. We're all the child of God. We all have God in us. And some people don't harness it. They just ignore it and denying its power. Instead of feeding the power, they deny it and they try to tuck it because they want to be of this in this world, not of it. So you can't deny God's power. God has given us all this power and this spark to use. And for you to deny God's power that He has provided you, that's shaming Him. So we should not be doing that. And it warns us not to have anything to do with such people. They are kind. Oh, it says they are the kind to worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women. We've seen that a lot with the homeless men in the wintertime need somewhere warm to go stay. And they know how to worm their way in because, like I said, when you are on that low vibrational, because anybody vibrating on a higher level like that would not even have, that wouldn't even allow these type of people to even get into worm into your life. So again, I'm talking from experience. When I'm talking about things, I'm speaking from experience. When I allowed myself to be down in the dumps and to swirl around in that cesspool of demonic things and like that, I opened myself up to be caught and trapped into that type of situation. You make yourself gullible. So again, we got to learn how to rise above, raise the vibration. And that might even be a series on how to raise your vibe. I think it's even a page, Raise the Vibe Tribe. But it's a whole movement. Raise your vibrations and you will avoid such mess. Okay, it says at the end of the day, they are men of deprived minds who, as far as faith is concerned, are rejected. But they will not get very far because, as in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. So what's done in the dark always comes to the light. Just know that if you out here lying, cheating, and stealing and doing things that you ain't got no business doing and vibrating on, it's gonna come out and eventually ain't nobody gonna have nothing to do with you. Just know when you are manipulating and demonic and not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, oh yeah, it's gonna come back on you. Just don't think you getting away. Cause when the devil using his demons, guess what? When he done with you, he gonna cast you away. He gonna toss you to the side like trash. You gonna be used and abused, just like you was using and abusing people. The devil gonna use and abuse you as well. So just know, you think you getting away. So now I want to talk about this book. Cause that's another thing I want to do. We bring up scripture, and then I got this book out of Dollar Tree. I'm gonna tell y'all, Dollar Tree got the books for $1.25. I will be at the thrift store. I be anywhere. I love books. I got a whole book collection, and I just constantly I order them on Amazon. I love books. Now, do I get to read them all the way? Sometimes no, because my life is just the way it is. My life be lifing. So when I get a chance, though, I will sit down and crack me open a book. I got about 20 books right now sitting on my nightstand table ready for me to read. And I just keep picking them up and flipping through them because I get so excited. But this one book I picked up, it just stuck out to me. I was in Dollar Tree the other day and I saw this book, and it's by Rick Ross. I don't know if you can see that good. It's called Boss Up. So basically, when I saw that, I'm like, first of all, it intrigued me because it's Rick Ross. I'm like, wow, Rick Ross wrote a book. Okay. And it says it's a hustler's guide to building your empire. So when I seen that, I was like, oh, that's all I need to know, because we all know who Rick Ross is, and he's successful, and we've been seeing him. So he been outside, he been busy. So it's amazing to see like some of these artists, they start out in different eras, and then they move on to different things. Like you have musicians moving into acting and things like that, starting their own business and restaurants and books and things like that. So I want y'all to go out. I was right at Dollar Tree. It's called Boss Up. I haven't read it yet, so this is one the top of my list to read, because I am working on the empire and I'm working on trying to build my brand. And shouts out to my brother AJ Photography, AJ313, in the making of building his brand. He's gonna be making some multi-million dollars within this year, and this is the type of stuff we trying to boss our life up. We trying to build our brand. We trying to grow, because it's really easy if you focus, if you put your mind to it. But the problem is, I haven't been focused. I've been unfocused. I've been following other people's dreams and doing things for other people and taking care of other people and putting myself to the side. So now I feel like, I'm kind of behind and where I should be. But it's cool, because I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get back there. And now that I know the things that I need to do, write things down. I need my vision boards. I need to write my goals down and set actual goals for my each day. I need to know what I'm doing from day to day, because when you wake up and you don't have a clear plan of what you want to do, you'll be running all over the place. You'll be frantic and just scattering and just lost. So wake up and start setting your plans and your goal. I got planners and things like that. I got my personal and my professional planner, notebooks. I keep sticky notes. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and write down notes and things like that. And be like, oh, that's a good podcast episode, or I want to talk about that. So I just, I'm focused now. I'm goal oriented focused, and that's another reason why I wanted to practice the celibacy thing, because like again, when you get caught up in sexual relationships with people and things like that, you start like getting caught up with that person and getting caught up in what they want to do, who they want to be, and what they are, and you start losing your own focus. So I just felt like it was that time for me to do that, and I encourage everybody to come along on that journey with me. Y'all help me out. But yeah, abstinence is the way to go. I don't have a time frame on it. I don't like New Year's resolutions, so that's not a New Year's resolution. It was just, I used this New Year time, actually it started in December, but I used this time to actually mark how far I've come, so I can look like, oh yeah, okay, from this time to this time, it was 6 months, it was this, I lasted this much, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that I am flesh, and that sometimes the flesh gets weak, So we have to be aware of that. But I'm really excited about trying this journey and things like that. I've already started, and so far it's been good. So yeah, I'm excited from that. But it is what it is. Um, so we're gonna go into doing my shots out. I want to say shots out to Reality Check. I was just recently on the last episode of their podcast, and we had a great time. He introduced me to a lot of music, a lot of dope musicians. Our Detroit. We off the map, y'all. Our musicians, our music is lit. It's dope. Detroit is dope, and we back out here, y'all. We out here on the map. So let's keep it up. But I'm excited because I keep getting a lot of messages and things like that from musicians, and they sending me their music, and it's really lit. And I'm like, my Apple Music is full of like local artists. You know, Queenstown. Shout out to my girl Queenstown. Her music is dope. I love it. Nettie lit. You know what I'm saying? When I'm feeling real tough and hard, I can go listen to Nettie and be like, whatever, fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my Detroit artists. You know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. I ain't name everybody because it's a whole bunch of y'all, and y'all know who y'all is. If y'all came in contact with me, then it's all love. And I listen to everybody's music, and y'all can look at my playlist. I even shared if y'all requested, but it's dope. Detroit music is dope, especially my girl Cash Doll. You know, I gotta send love to my baby girl. I would just love to meet her one day. We gonna be on it though. We on it though. But yeah, 1983, the brand. Shouts out to them coming out from Ohio. They just partnered with a Detroit artist. So we working, we networking and playing on some things. And it's crazy, y'all, because I'm looking on my patio right now and I see a red robin walking across. I should turn the camera so I can see it. It's beautiful, but it's just walking right on out here in the middle of the coast. It's so cute. But yeah, 1983, the brand, partnering with Detroit, all the way from Ohio. I'm excited to partner, be on their podcast, had them part of my podcast and things like that. We just recently was on the podcast with them, with Nettie on there, and my life coach, Mitch. Shout out to my life coach. Yes, I have a life coach. Mitch is the best. He keep me grounded. He keep me organized and steady. We've been working on some co-hosting things with the podcast. He's got things going on. He's managing Nettie and things like that. But shouts out to Life Coach. She's been just giving me that. It's nice to have a male perspective and a male person that can give you advice. Because, you know, I have my girlfriends and I got my sisters and things like that. Shout out to my family, everything, my girls and my sisters and stuff like that, that give me that, you know, that girl. But then when you get that male perspective, and then he's a husband, a father, you know, man of the community doing things, it's a breath of fresh air to get that honest opinion from male. So shouts out Life Coach. Ebony JJ been a big support. My baby mom, my BM, not my baby mom, my BM on Instagram. Ebony, I love you, girl. You've been showing so much support. We got my uncle got a clothing store, Cannons in Inkster, home of a $99 suit. I'm sure a lot of y'all know, especially if you from Inkster, off Michigan Avenue and Inkster Road. So y'all go tap in, go check him out. If you need a suit, he got the home of the $99 suit. He got a lot of my peoples together. He actually did I don't even want to talk about it, but he did the suits for my wedding, which I'm not married anymore, but things like that. But shouts out to Uncle Greg over there. Y'all go visit. Shouts out to him and his wife, Judge Wanda Evans, my girl, my auntie. Love y'all. You know what I'm saying? So go tap out Inkster. But yes, I just want y'all to just tap in. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing a bunch of things. I got a lot of things going on. It's a bunch of ideas swirling. I'm getting them out on paper. Me and Life Coach Mitch been chopping it up. We got episodes forming and things coming. But this was a more intimate note. I just wanted to sit down and chop it up. Y'all know I did my last episode last year with Big Hurt. That was not one of my best interviews. I was a little bit nervous, and I had a little bit too much XXL. I actually was drinking the Cali Extreme, which, sorry XXL, y'all can keep that, because that had me on edge and that had me nervous, and it did not have me calm and cool and collective. So I'm gonna stick to the regular XXL, which y'all see I've been doing. Shout out to XXL Wines. It's not for everybody, but it's for me. But that Cali Extreme, y'all can keep that because it's a little bit too much like gasoline. So, and it sounded like a burn. But yes, yeah, the last interview with Big Hurt, and Big Hurt was really supportive. You know, he DM'd me and was like, good episode and things like that. He was like, just make sure you do a little bit more research. And the crazy part about it is I really did do my research on him, because I grew up listening to his music, and, you know, like I said, I love Detroit artists. So of course I did my work, but it's a different thing when you sitting there with somebody, a legend of that caliber, and you got the wrong liquor in you and things like that, and you get to talking, and it was just like, I think I was a little nervous, and we actually only did a 30-minute interview, and it was supposed to be an hour, but I kind of ended it kind of fast because but it was still dope. It was still cool. We got to, what I'm saying, I really got to talk to him and really get to know him on a different level and things like that. And he real down to earth. So shouts out to my last episode. But again, like I said, 2025, we all the way live, and what I mean by that, we alive, y'all. We living, and let's live because life is too short. You know what I'm saying? If you my age, born in the 80s and things like that, we halfway. We like middle age. So we don't got a whole lot of time left. So the things that you do now and the decisions, if you 40 and up, you better have a plan. Because the way this world going, it ain't gonna be what you gonna do. It's getting bad. So it's time now to figure out what you're gonna do. You better make some smart investments. The most important thing right now is having a roof over your head, having a family, having the heat is cold outside. You want to be somewhere where it's nice and warm, and you want to have stable mental health. A lot of us in this community running around thinking we don't need no therapist because it's been a stigma. I get it, but let's break that stigma. And yes, there are therapists who need help too. Some of them, and then there's therapists that are terrible. But guess what? There's more therapists. If that one don't work, somebody else gonna work. But get some help, and it's okay if you need some medications. Take the meds if that's what you need. But do what you need to do. Do the work so that you can be stable. So that when you run into somebody and meet somebody, you won't fuck their life up. You won't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's too much going on. Women, I need y'all to, and I'm talking to myself too, but we got to do better. I was watching a meme or a reel, and the young lady was talking about, she's sick of these pick me type of women, and it's like this. Oh, I do anything. You don't have to do nothing. I don't have no boundaries. I'll pay for everything. I'll take you in. I do this. I do that. I do this. And we get caught up in that. Women get caught up in that, especially when the sex is great and our judgment get cloudy. Or we come out of certain things. Like I said, me coming out of a divorce and things like that, and just like whatever, making poor decisions and things with the people that I supposedly be vibrating with. But men, do better. Do better. Do better with your choices. Do better with your kids. Do better with your body. Start going to the doctor, man. Why y'all want to go to the doctor and get y'all checkups and things like that? Why y'all want to go to the dentist and get that tartar? I know y'all been seeing all the memes that they talking about the women pH balances being off because you got infected teeth. That's a real thing. That's true. And if y'all don't know about them pH balances, go do your homework, do your research, and find out. Because I'm learning there's people that didn't know what a pH balance was. How on earth? If you a man, you should be knowing. If you're a sexually active man with a woman, you should know what a pH balance is for one. And if you're a woman, you damn sure should know what a pH balance was. But women, your pH balance can get thrown off because you're sleeping with these men who don't know how to wash up properly. So we have to look at all that. And I'm sorry to be so like raw with it, but these are the things that's not being talked about that need to be talked about. And that's why people so naive and don't know, because a lot of people have not learned these things. But these are real things. Like STDs is like the worst thing that can happen. AIDS is the worst thing you can catch. Out here sleeping with people and catching things that you can't get rid of. That's the worst thing. But there's other things that can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you got men moving in, men and women moving in, people coming in, you letting people move in with you. These people got bed bugs and diseases and all type of stuff, roaches and all kind of stuff. And then you let them come in your space, and now your peace is disrupted. So we got to wake up, y'all. I'm telling you, it's rough, but only when we do our healing work and the healing journey and things like that, then we can start to change the trajectory of things that have been going on. Because a lot of us are just allowing these things to happen and allowing these people to behave this way. And it's like, hold on, if we start changing our thought process and things like that and start dealing with these low vibrational people, then they're gonna be like, hold on, ain't nobody talking to me, dealing with me. What is wrong? And they'll start waking up and things like that. Like, hold on, okay, maybe I should, what I'm saying? It's bad. And then I said men go to the doctor, women go to the doctor too, because there's a lot of women that don't go to the doctor. This is an equal thing. I believe in 50-50. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's good for the man, good for the female. But y'all get y'all health together, y'all wealth, y'all mental health. It's a whole new year. We got a fresh start. And do your research. It's no way you should know nothing about nothing. You should know something about everything. We ain't gonna know everything about everything, but we got the phones and the capability and the technology to look up anything we want to. You can look up anything else. You can look up anything you want to. You can do your homework and do your research, but let's just do better. You know what I'm saying? That's all we got to do is just do better and take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And take care of your people. Keep your family members out the nursing homes, because this new generation with these things, it's not great. And treat people how you want to be treated, and just know karma has a way of going around. Because guess what, you might be getting away with something, you can get away for 20, 30 years, but guess what, in the end it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. And guess what, when you get bitten in the ass, it's really gonna sting, it's really gonna hurt, and all of that playing you was doing back in the day ain't gonna be worth it, them years and years of playing. So take the time now while you still got a chance. Get your life right with God. Get your heart right. Get your mind right. Take a deep, dark look at yourself. But I just appreciate everybody tapping in, and just spend a little time with your girl Steff. Like I said, we got some big things on the brink. We got some interviews coming up. We got ATL on the road. We're gonna be out in ATL for the Martin Luther King weekend, turning up. You know what I'm saying? Hitting a couple showcases and podcasts and things like that. So we trying to get around. You know what I'm saying? We already tapped in with Ohio. Then we about to go get tapped in with ATL. Then who knows where's next? But I got some plugs that I met while I was down in Houston. Shouts out to my Houston peoples. Y'all know who y'all is. You know what I'm saying? But we out here. We out here, and it's slowly but surely we doing the work. We putting one foot in front of the other, and we enjoying it, and we having a great time, and that's all that matters. So y'all continue having a good life. You know what I'm saying? A blessed life. And I thank everybody for joining me, and I thank you for your time. And I'll see y'all next time. All right, love y'all. Peace and blessings to y'all for sure.